Hey everyone, and welcome back to Technology Now, a weekly show from Hewlett Packard Enterprise where we take what's happening in the world and explore how it's changing the way organizations are using technology. We're your hosts, Aubrey Lovell.
And coming to you from the World Economic Forum annual meeting here in Davos, Switzerland, me, Michael Bird. Yes, we are coming to you very nearly live from one of the world's most important business summits. Now, in this episode, we'll be meeting with HPE's president and CEO, Antonio Neri, to talk about why Davos matters. We'll be talking about the importance of bringing businesses, governments, and other organizations together, and we'll be discussing HPE's plans for the meeting.
Incredible and important. So if you're the kind of person who needs to know why what's going on in the world matters to your organization, this podcast is for you. And we're also making a video version in this episode, so do check out the HPE website or YouTube channel as well. Or if you're watching, subscribe to Technology Now on your podcast app of choice so you don't miss out. All right, Michael, take it away.
Davos is a hugely important focal point of global trade, business, and regulation. For most of the year, it's an alpine town of 11,000, but for 1 week, every January, around 3,000 leading business figures, politicians, activists, and celebrities descend onto the town for the annual meeting of the World Economic Forum, bringing along ideas, debates, and increasing attention to major issues facing the world today. And for 1 year only, it's 3,002 attendees because my producer and camera operator, Alicia, and I have been invited along too for a walk and talk meeting with HPE's Antonio Neri. HPE are active participants at the World Economic Forum and are key contributors to the AI House at Davos, a global not-for-profit with a mission to solve issues for humanity by lowering the technological barriers to entry and closing the divide to innovate with artificial intelligence. Sounds great, but how do we do it? And why is Davos the place to stamp your mark? Well, to find out, I've had the absolute pleasure of taking a walk with HPE's president and CEO, Antonio Neri. So I'm joining you on your walk to the Congress Center.
We have a few minutes here to walk through this beautiful town.
It is beautiful.
Look at the day, sunny, snowy.
But I don't need to get too cold. So
it's not cold at all, actually.
We better start walking.
Yeah.
Are you a big fan of snow? Is snow your favorite, or is sunshine hot or cold?
I'm actually more a beach guy.
Okay.
But I enjoy the snow for a little bit. Yeah. Not the full 3 months, but maybe a week.
You a skier, snowboarder?
I used to snowboard. In fact, I learned here on a place not too far from Davos. I used to come to Switzerland a lot. And it's a place called Squall Terrasp, which is actually an hour and a half that way on the Engadine train, which is that romantic train.
Yeah.
And it's the last stop of that train.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm familiar.
Do you find any time to ski when you're here?
No, not at all. I just actually arrived this morning from Houston, and you had to take a shower and already...
Straight on,
yeah.
So, we're here to talk about the World Economic Forum annual meeting here in beautiful Davos.
Yeah.
Can you just explain what is the World Economic Forum annual meeting?
Well, the World Economic Forum has been founded in 1971. It's an international entity that brings together, the corporate, the private sector, obviously the public sector, the social aspects of our work, all together in this amazing place, which is, a feast of logistics, to discuss the biggest societal challenges and how together we can advance, that social responsibility agenda.
So Davos is a week?
It's almost, I would say it's more like 3 to 4 days.
Yeah.
Very intense.
And what are you most excited to hear about, see about, learn about while you're here?
Well, believe it or not, this place brings together the top 2,000 figures. But at the same time, you have the ability to, engage the most prominent figures and make some interesting, tough decisions.
Yeah.
I would say in the last few years has been all about climate change, how we protect the planet. At the same time, how technology helps with that. The Industrial Revolution 4.0, but obvious to think that this week will be all about AI, robotics and manufacturing. And climate change will continue to be obviously a big topic.
So you just mentioned AI. Here in Davos, I believe HPE have presence at the AI House.
Yes.
Can you explain what the AI House is and why HPE have partnered with them?
Yeah, I had the opportunity this morning to visit the AI House and provide a few remarks. We're proud to support that initiative. It is an ecosystem of partners, including entities like G42 and others, that really focus on the use of AI in a social, ethical, responsible, and sustainable way. So we participate because we think, AI has the potential to change everything, but at the same time needs to be accessible to all.
Yeah.
It needs to be deployed with responsibility and ethics, and at the same time, understanding how this technology transform everything. This, uses too much energy, so that's not good for the planet. So we need to think about the implications from a sustainable point of view.
Yeah. So, what exactly is it that we HP are talking about at the AI House?
Well, think about the number of countries that come and participate to this event. We want to engage with them in the context of supercomputing and AI. HPE obviously is the market leader in supercomputing. We are deploying some of the largest AI systems on the planet.
Yeah.
We just unveiled the El Capitan, which is the largest supercomputer ever built. And the government wants to talk to us. They want to talk to us because they want to understand how to deploy supercomputing power for their own national requirements. So for me, it's an opportunity to really bring an understanding, but at the same time, sell our portfolio of solutions and technologies. So
as I said before, we're walking to the big Congress Center here in Davos.
Yeah.
Clearly, there's lots going on. What is it that you specifically are doing here in Davos? Are you meeting lots of customers?
Well, I mean, all sorts of people, mostly commercial customers, but also public officials from many different countries, where we already engage in many of their initiatives. Customers are mostly CEOs and chief technology officers or chief digital officers. For me, it's all about advancing that conversation, the partnership, and what we do for them. And at the government level, making sure that from a policy perspective, we provide input on what they are doing. And at the same time, like I said earlier, make sure our brand is well understood for what we can do for their government.
Yeah.
And there is a number of governments that are very deeply engaged with us as we speak.
And has that changed over the last few years in terms of the sorts of conversations that you're having?
I think so. And I think that changed because when we split HP, we created obviously Hewlett Packard Enterprise, and that gave us an opportunity to be much more focused than we were before, with a large portfolio, and we were mostly recognized as a PC and printer company. Obviously, HP is focused on infrastructure, cloud, security, AI, and the like. And so I think since 2015, we have done a good job with our presence, with our brand in the promenade, and then with our engagements through the WEF in many of their initiatives to elevate that brand and that recognition of what we are and what we can do.
You sort of alluded to this. In fact, I think you actually mentioned it in detail. But other than customers, who are the sorts of people that you are meeting with?
No, generally, you can be as productive as you want or less productive, because obviously there are other figures that come here.
Yeah.
Kings and queens and potentially stars, in the movie industry and whatnot. Yeah. So I honestly, I don't spend time on that.
Not tempted?
No, not at all. Not at all. You may find them in dinners or lunches. Yeah. But my job is to focus on the job at hand, which is, contribute through the work at the forum like we have done. And again, I'm really proud of what we have done in the last 5 years. I've been very active in the ICB, very active in equality and sustainability, the future of computing.
Yeah.
And so for me, that's my focus.
What do you think will be the key themes at Davos? I suppose that's different to maybe the sorts of things we're going to be speaking about.
Well, I mean, the agendas tend to be very, very tight. Remember, when you are in these meetings, there is finite amount of time. So they tend to be extremely structured and extremely to the point. There is not a lot of time for debate or dialogue. There is a lot of discussion around, hey, what are going to be the biggest initiatives? And then there is tremendous follow-up between one meeting to the next meeting. Remember, there is also summer WEF that takes place in different parts of the world where the large WEF, or the winter WEF, as I call it, is here in Davos. So the point is commit and go and make progress along the way. And I have to believe, again, as we go through tomorrow's meeting, AI will be at the top of the agenda, industrial revolution will be the other one, climate will continue to be top. I think a lot of discussion around diversity and equality will continue to be there.
And what can our customers take away from Davos?
Well, I mean, fundamentally, what are the top priorities for the people they work with? When I spend time with companies like financial services or healthcare company or the pharmaceutical, then you get an understanding. What are the top priorities when they think 12, 36 months out, so that we can incorporate that set of priorities into our thinking in order to meet their needs better than anyone else. So in many ways, is also an opportunity to gather tremendous amount of intelligence and how we should shape our strategy to help them.
And how does that then translate to our customers? I guess what we gather.
It's better solutions and better experiences through our product and services. A lot of times here, there is opportunity to strike some partnerships. Obviously, AI today demands a lot of consulting and advisory services up front. We can't do it everywhere, or we can't do it all. So that's an opportunity to, at the CEO level, to establish those strong partnerships. And that's why this year every year we bring a sort of different delegation so that everybody has an opportunity to learn, but at the same time to contribute. So this year, Marie Myers, our CFO, is with me as well. This is an opportunity for her to understand how capital allocation is going to be used over the next few years too.
Yeah. And AI is going to be the big topic this year.
And undoubtedly. I mean, it's no question. And obviously, think about countries from Middle East or Africa or just in the continental Europe. Nobody wants to be left behind. But at the same time, they all want to have their own, I call it AI, because AI can change the very fabric of the country and the culture. So fundamentally, everybody has to want it, so that they can maintain that identity while they deploy this incredible technology.
Excellent. Antonio, thank you so much for letting us tag along to your walk to the Congress Center. I hope you have a fantastic Davos 2025.
I appreciate it. And again, having this conversation in such a beautiful place
it's not bad, is it?
Just not bad at all. While then eventually you go back and you close yourself in the conference center. But I appreciate the opportunity to work with you and chat.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, Michael, for bringing us that inspiring stuff. And thanks for joining us, Antonio. It was a pleasure to have you. And you can find more on the topics discussed in today's episode in the show notes.
All right, we are getting towards the end of the show, which means it is time for This Week in History, a look at monumental events in the world of business and technology, which has changed our lives. Now, the clue last week was... It's 2009. How do you spell extinction backwards? Now, I think I gave the most obvious answer for this, which was literally spelling extinction backwards. Aubrey, please delight us with the answer.
Well, not quite, but it's the birth and 7-minute life of the first extinct animal clone. Yes, we're not talking quite the dinosaur theme park islands here, but it's not a million miles off. The clone was of the Pyrenean ibex, which went extinct 9 years earlier in the year 2000. And cells for the clone were created using DNA from frozen skin samples taken from the last known individual before it died. The animal's mother was a Spanish ibex, which is a closely related species implanted with an egg containing the recovered genetic material. Now, the team behind the research implanted dozens of eggs into different mothers, but only one ibex was born and died shortly afterwards, making the species the first to go extinct for a second time.
Interesting stuff. And the clue for next week is it's 1795 and one Frenchman had this tasty prize in the can. Do you know what it is? I'm not sure I do.
I do not, and I don't even want to guess. But that brings us to the end of Technology Now for this week. And thank you so much to our guest, HPE President and CEO, Antonio Neri. And to you, our listeners, thank you so much for joining us.
Technology Now is hosted by Aubrey Lovell and myself, Michael Bird. And this episode was produced by Sam Datapoolen and Alicia Kempston-Taylor with production support from Harry Morton, Zoe Anderson, Lincoln van der Westhuizen, Alison Paisley, and Alyssa Mitri. On-site production support for this episode was provided by Jeff Isles, Hilary Fisk, Naharen Kizira, and Maeve Cullity.
Our social editorial team is Rebecca Wissinger, Judy Ann Goldman, Katie Garrino, and our social media designers are Alejandra Garcia and Ambar Maldonado. Technology Now is a Lower Street production for Hewlett Packard Enterprise, and we'll see you next week. Cheers.